Welcome back to another episode of Motogp Mac, and today we're going to talk about the practice sessions that just happened for the Qatar Grand Prix this weekend. Now, the practice sessions was headed by Raul Fernandez from Fabio Di Gianantonio, Maverick Vinales, Brad Binder, Aleix Espargaro, Luca Marini, Jorge Martin, Pecco Bagnaia, Augusto Fernandez, Marc Marquez, Jack Miller, Alex Marquez, Franco Morbidelli, Pol Espargaro, Marco Bezzecchi, Johan Zarco, Joan Mir, Enea Bastianini, Miguel Oliveira, Iker Lecuona, Fabio Quartararo, and Taka Nakagami. Now, I will give credit where credit is due, and Raul Fernandez put in an absolute stunning lap. Fair play to him. He got the Aprilia up there, and is making the right noises now for once in MotoGP rather than bitching about his teams, etc. Really, really good lap, although it wasn't the fastest lap of the session. Fabio Di Gianantonio again did a solid job, into P2, straight into Q2 as well. So, fighting for his MotoGP career, this is definitely not a bad thing for him. Maverick Vinales actually did do the fastest lap in the session. However, Pol Espargaro had crashed in the final corner, and therefore Maverick's lap was taken away from him. But again, still really good performance. The Aprilia is working, but we all see this before, where the Aprilia can run its own lines and it's fine. The problem comes within the race, but it's a good view to see the 3 out of the 4 Aprilias within the top 5. Brad Binder did really well as well. Good, solid practice session for him. Secure straight into Q2, so all is good there. Better weekend for Aleix Espargaro than the last couple of weekends. He did have a crash, all right, today, but again, 5th place, solid for him. Solid for Luca Marini. The Honda man, who I thought actually would be announced already, but it seems that, it's still taking a little bit more time to get that contract sorted. I wonder, is Rossi trying to get his 500 as part of that contract? Jorge Martin, looked a very, very, very stressed second session for Jorge Martin. At one stage, he was 3.3 seconds off. Did actually look like he was working on race pace, but you could see he's definitely having a problem with the front of that Ducati. His normal settings don't seem to be working, and at one stage, he even took the second bike out to confirm some issues, I would believe. Pecco Bagnaia, again, would have been a little bit higher, I think, except with Pol Espargaro's crash, he was actually... his lap time, or his fastest lap time, was cancelled. But again, he did look good straight out of the box. He did look quite quick. So, we're definitely going to be having a great battle in tomorrow's sprint race, I would think. Augusto Fernandez, really solid ride. He was behind Jorge Martin, so he did get a little bit of a tow. Was it a Marquez tow truck? No, it absolutely wasn't. And, I absolutely hate to see what he's doing. Twice he followed Pecco around, and you're just like, I don't know. I just think it is wrong that someone rides so close to someone behind on the qualifying lap. If Mark missed his braking, he could have taken Pecco or anyone out. So I just don't get it. Jack Miller did crash twice during the session and just missed out on Q2. But again, he's there or thereabouts. KTM are running a Formula 1 style rear wing, I'm going to call it at this stage, and if you look at it, it does look like the upside down or reverse double diffuser. If you're watching the Braun Grand Prix episodes on Disney, you will know what I mean from that. Alex Marquez, I did expect him to be in the top 10 if I'm very honest, but again, he's close enough. Times that he was running is about 2/10 outside the top 10, so he's there or thereabouts, if I'm honest. Franco Morbidelli, it's not bad. I still expect him a little bit higher. Pol Espargaro, as I mentioned, crashed out towards the end of the session, so he couldn't actually get a proper fast lap in. Surprised with Marco Bezzecchi in 15th place. I thought he would be definitely inside the top 10, but again, what do I know, I suppose. Johan Zarco, again, very surprised here. and that he is so far back. Joan Mir was towing Marc Marquez, so it's not a good run for him either. Enea Bastianini, terrible day in the office, 18th place. You know, it is pretty dire for him, if I'm very honest. You know, he definitely should be inside the top 10. Something has happened to the form of Miguel Oliveira. He's been completely outpaced the last few races by his teammate and the other Aprilia team. So, you know, it definitely needs to pull the finger out, if I'm very, very honest. Good enough practice session for Iker Lecuona. He wasn't last, you know, and I take that as a positive, because the two riders that were behind him, Fabio Quartararo is no slouch around a circuit, but he just definitely couldn't get it going. A 154.2 compared to a 152.8 from Raul Fernandez gives you an indication of how much in trouble Fabio is. And Taka Nakagami was in last place with a 154.4. Again, you can see how far off he is. All in all, I thought it was a fairly good practice session. You could definitely see the tension between the two title rivals. The pressure cooker now is really on. You know, Jorge Martin, if I'm honest, did look a little bit panicked at the start of the session when things weren't going too right for him. The team did a great job, if I'm honest. And, you know, the main thing that I do want to see in this championship is that it's won on the track and not in the stewards room. The circuit itself is billiard table smooth. They've done a fantastic job with the facility and the track. It is very dirty offline. You go off the racing line and you're going to get yourself into a lot of trouble. It's going to tuck the front. You know, tomorrow should be interesting. Will Martin take the risk or will Pecco take the risk? It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens there. Martin is definitely struggling with the front. Pecco looks a little bit more comfortable than normally what I would call on a Friday. I definitely think Martin is not going to complain about being able to study people's data tonight to get an understanding of what they're doing compared to what he's doing. But all in all, I thought it was a good practice session. Really looking forward to tomorrow's sprint race. Very hard to choose who is going to win. I think the two title protagonists are going to ride a bit tight. So tomorrow for the sprint race win, I'm going to go for Brad Binder. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. What did you think of the practice session, and who is your pick for the sprint race winner tomorrow? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.